Alright, and welcome back to the Q&A. We're gonna kick things off with a very good friend of mine in this part of it. And that would be Zipblock Gory, who asked me three questions. Three questions are... his first one is, besides Gail Simone, do you know of any other good female writers in comics? Oh boy. I sadly do not. I mean, there was... Excuse me, I got something in my throat. There we go. I don't know. I mean, a lot of female writers, I'm not trying to sound sexist or anything, but there aren't a lot of female writers because they just... I don't know. I mean, outside of Gail Simone, I can't think of anyone right off the top of my head. I don't know, maybe because they don't get a lot of limelight. I mean, they're mostly independent, and there's not a lot of stuff comic book writers write that I generally like outside of Gail Simone. So I'm not trying to sound sexist or anything. I'm just saying that if there are any writers, and I find something good from a female writer, I'll be happy to read it. But I haven't found any yet. But anyway, moving on to his second question, and this one I might ramble about. Your second question is, what are some of your OTPs? That's one true pairings that's slang nerdwise. OTPs. Okay, what can I do here? Let's kick off with Last Airbender. I got a few for Last Airbender. I got my major one is Maiko. Yes, I like Maiko. That's Zuko and Mei. I really like that. I really like that pairing. It's because like we have the emo character. We have this like he's kind of like emo brash guy with bad memories and bad childhood. Who's kind of mixed with a girl who's kind of like the world's first emo. And she's like a badass with blades. And not only that, we have she also has child issues, and she has trouble with handling with her emotions and trying to project them to other people. But we also have Zuko who plays up too much of his emotions, and he gets very angry easily. So it kind of has that yin yang thing at a darker tone. The other one would be Katang, which is basically Katara and Aang. We all knew that was going to happen from episode 1 when they first locked eyes. We're like, oh, pairing right there. There's Sokka and Suki. I like those two. Suka, I think that's called. Toph never really got a pairing. I don't know why. But those are the major like 3 right there. I do like the Sokka Ty Lee stuff. I do like that. I was almost like, if they didn't bring back Suki, I was pretty sure they were going to pair her up with her. What else we got? I mean, who else? I guess for like Inuyasha, this is going to be funny, but for Inuyasha, it's Shishomaru Kagome and Shishomaru Kagura. I know that one's more canon, but Shishomaru Kagome, because one of my friends, she got me into it, and I really liked it. I really thought it was kind of fun. For Danny Phantom, was Danny Phantom and Sam, but I kind of like the Danny Phantom Ember stuff. That's kind of always interesting. The other ones would be like, for Stormhawks, it's kind of like, because they never really... I know the Arrow Piper stuff, but Repton and Starling, I dig that pairing. It's very... it's kind of like... it has a Bulma and Vegeta feel to it. But that'd be the major one right there. And speaking of Dragon Ball Z, like I said, Vegeta and Bulma. I like that pairing right there. There are so much, and I really don't want to take up the entire video doing that, but there are more and more, and I'll probably do a video on this. Hoping not to sound like a ranting idiot, because hope I don't take up too much time. I tell people more, I tell you more, but I'm running on a time limit here. Okay, and your third question is, if you had to pick any comic book characters to bring to life, who would it be? That's a tough question. I would have to say Punisher. Frank Castle would probably be the best one because he's like the most realistic. I would definitely say him. Frank Castle because he probably fit in with the society and he's a character that people could see happening. But that would be the best one. For that one. But thank you for the questions, Ziploc Gory, Victor. Thank you for those questions. And we're gonna move on to Rodney383. Hey, this is cool. Rodney383 sent me questions. Awesome. How you doing, man? You sent me about 3 questions as well. Your first one is, do you write comic books? I have. I've written comic books and sent them to Marvel and DC. I've sent separate stories. My original character, the Spectrum, which is actually your that is your second question. I'll get more. So this is going to be a mixture of your second and third. My original character, the Spectrum I created, has actually been given off to a independent company here in Florida, a small little art company. I don't know if they're going to do it or not, but my dad found them. He talked about the character. I sent him in the stuff, and there's that. I have written comics and I've sent them to Marvel, DC, and I get nothing back. I even wrote this intricate story. I even wrote a one-shot about the Juggernaut taking on Thor's enemies, the Wrecking Crew, and I wrote like a 6-part miniseries about the Batman villain called Killer Croc, and talked about him finding his family again and finding out that his dad. It's basically like a retelling of a remake of Killer Croc's origin, where it's supposed to be like his dad. He finds he breaks out after learning that his dad's still alive. He breaks out of Arkham Asylum, goes to Louisiana, gets there, finds his dad, and he finds out that he has 3 half-brothers that all are reptilian as well. And he finds out why he was born with this. Turns out his dad. This is gonna sound really weird, but it kind of makes sense because it's a comic book. His dad fell in love with a voodoo priestess. They made love. But he left her the day after, and he left her for another woman, and she cursed him to have children as she quote unquote said, as ugly as your soul. So whatever kids he had, they would turn out to have that skin condition. I thought it would be kind of interesting to give like Waylon, a Killer Croc, Waylon Jones, an interesting background like that. And I mean, Spider-Man JMS basically gave a little mystical background to Spider-Man, so I figured, how about a little mystical stuff to Killer Croc? I don't know if they're reading it or if they're gonna get back on me with that in DC. Maybe I'll send it in again, or another stuff I have. I have another idea with Mr. Zaz, a one-shot of that villain. But, thank you. And to answer your second question, yes, I have created characters of my own, Rodney383. The Spectrum, like I said, very powerful character. I'll send you the videos of me talking about it. I've got 2 up. I'll probably talk about more, but I sent it to an independent company here in Florida, and we talked about. I don't know if they're going to do it or not. I'm hoping they are. It'd be nice. Let's see what happens. And your third question is, what's your favorite of the 4 elements? Fire, water, earth. Fire, water, earth, wind. Okay. As a superpower. Simply put, it's the fire element, Rodney. The fire element, because I'm born under the Sagittarius, in the horoscope, I'm born under Sagittarius, and that's the fire element. And I always dug the power of fire, like I've always dug the element of fire, like what it can do, what it can destroy, what it can create out of the destruction. There's like so much you can do with fire, basically. But so yeah, if it was a superpower for one of the 4 elements, yeah, it'd be firebending. That'd be awesome. But thank you for those questions, Rodney383, and thank you good job on your partnership. I recently heard that on Anime Real Talk TV. That is great job, man. You got partnership. That's great. Okay, we're gonna move on to The Dark Knight 1X. He has 4 questions. Would you like to see... His first one is, would you like to see Marvel do their own Blackest Night? Maybe. But I think they pretty much did that with the X-Men Necrotia story arc. And that was alright. That was more or less like Blackest Night X-Men right there. Chaos War is basically like Blackest Night Marvel, in a way. So, it's more... They're doing it anyway, and... More or less, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind to see it, but then again, what could you do with it, is my question. Second question is, could you see the Punisher Frankencastle as Spawn? I could definitely see him as Spawn, dude. That would be very cool. I think that'd be a very interesting turn for Frank Castle. That'd be very interesting. I'd love to see him try to take on Malebolgia. That'd be kind of cool. Your third question is, could you see the X-Men written as well as a TV show? Yeah, man, I could totally see the X-Men written as a TV show. I'd actually preferably like to see young X-Men or New Mutants, because the viewing would be there for or hell, an X Factor show would be kind of cool. A show about X Factor would be really cool. Out of all of my picks, it'd definitely be X Factor, because I think that'd really work as a live action TV show. And your fourth question is, what comic book movie would you like to see on the big screen? It's already happening, dude. Black Panther. Out of all of them, if I could just pick one, and it looks like it's happening soon, is Black Panther, T'Challa. So, there's your answer right there. And thank you for those questions, Dark Knight X1. And we're gonna move on to I'm looking for about 1 or 2 more questions I can use to finish up this video. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna come back on this. There's gonna be I'll get more of the questions in the next part.